Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the finale of My Team Season 3. Today we are going to take on the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a sprint race weekend and we'll find out who is going to be the world champion of My Team Season 3. Of course, Ferrari already won the Constructors title, but we can still win the Drivers title. And that's what we are going to do today. There is not that much that can go on. You can see I'm still leading with 10 points over Max Verstappen and 11 points over Leclerc. I am currently at 195 subscribers. If you want to help me towards that 200, please like and subscribe this video as much as possible so that I can get up to 200 subscribers and that I can become world champion. Of course, if you want to become world champion, you need to have a good qualifying. That's what we are going to do today. You can see we come out behind Nicholas TV, so we are going a bit slower than usual because we don't trust him that much. But hey, don't worry, we will have our lap on our own, so nobody can steal some time from us away and give us a slower lap than we should have. And this is our first lap, as you can see, coming towards the Senna S, and we take it beautifully. We can still do it better, but of course it's just our banker lap and that doesn't matter too much, as we are doing a second lap after this and maybe even a second run on another set of softs. You can see this lap, it wasn't the best, and I can show you why. It's because of this. We had to go around the outside, not on the racing line because he was still there. So this ruined our lap, which meant that we had to do a second lap. Luckily I had enough fuel. We still have 2 laps of fuel. And he now wants to go for his push lap, so what do? The same thing that every driver would do. And I block him off and I go and do my own lap. That's what I'm doing at the moment. And you can see now we can finally get ourselves a good lap. Once again, someone on an out lap, but he luckily goes slow, really slow, on the normal, or off the main straight. And you can see through this corner once again we gain a second. A second! That's, I don't know, that's too much. We even gain more because I absolutely, I don't know what happened. I put down my ERS to none and that also didn't help in my previous lap. But hey, you can see 2.3 seconds, a purple second sector, and that means that we are going to do a good lap here. Joe is now a few tenths behind me. He dropped back, of course, he is in a slower car, so that should happen. And we put in a 107.5, which is good enough for P6 at the moment. But I don't think that is good enough for this session. So I'm going out once again. P9 it is, and behind me everybody is out on track. Maybe I didn't need to go out, but as you can see I gained 2.5 tenths just from the Senna S. And I felt like I could do it a bit better, and it gave me a bit better confidence for the rest of the weekend. So that's probably something that I will need. Because if I don't have a good qualifying, that will result in a bad sprint race, which will result in not becoming champion. You can see going up into P3 with a 106.6, and that is enough for Q1. A lap invalidated, so no second run, and as you can see it's still P3 in the end. Only 1.5 tenths off of pole position, currently Max Verstappen. Everything can still change. The only guy that surprised me was Dan Ticktum in P20, so he's not having a good weekend at all so far. Luckily there's a sprint race for him, so he can try to get back up there. But the thing is, what we need to do is get a good qualifying, because otherwise we will lose a few points in the sprint race, and that's something that we can't afford. We are 10 points ahead of Max Verstappen at the moment, but that can all change in that sprint race. Because if he wins it and I am not in the top 8, that means that he will gain 8 points over me. And then even on top of that, if I qualify not in the top 8, that means that he will probably win the race or get P2 and become world champion. So that's not what we want. We want to become world champion, and that's why we are putting in a fast lap. It's not the fastest lap. As you can see, it's only a 17.8. But at the end of the session I felt like I could be a bit quicker. 1 minute to go, 1 run only. This is everything that we can do about getting ourselves into the top 10. Currently P9, but everybody is still improving, as you can see. So yeah, we are really on the danger of getting knocked out, but I feel like we can do a good job here. As we are coming to, once again, our unlucky corner, and it is a log up. That's not good at all. You can see I lost, I think, around 2 tenths there, and that could be the difference. Still gaining 1.5 tenths, even 2 tenths in the end. But you can see my teammate goes with a 106.4 to pole position, and I am still in P12. 2 tenths is the improvement. Is it enough? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We are out. We are not even through to Q3. If I had 2 tenths, I wouldn't even have been in there. So we are starting in P12 in the sprint race, luckily. So we can try to fight back from there, and we'll find out what we can do in the sprint race.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso and Ricciardo, Perez, Hamilton, Liam Lawson and Esteban Ocon, Gasly, the engineer, Kevin Magnussen and Albon, Stroll, Joe, Robert Schwartzman and Lando Norris, Tsunoda, Ticktum, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Good. Why are my two main rivals in P1 and P2? It's not what I want. As you can see, we are underway for the sprint race, the final sprint race of this season, and it's not a good start. Dropping down to P14, going down the inside and going back up into P12, so we don't lose any positions at the start here. Can we take some positions from Gasly, Hamilton, Ocon? I hope so, because we need to get at least a top 5 if we want to have a chance on winning this championship. And as you can see, towards turn 3 we go, and it's so close. I nearly got into the back of Pierre Gasly, but we overtook him. No worries there. We are already up into P11. Can we even overtake Hamilton and Perez? Oh, Perez is a P9. Oh wow. We go down the inside, and it's 2 positions once again, and it's P9 for us at the moment. We need to take these risks, even though it's a high risk, high reward. If we don't do it, that means that we could end up in P9 or P10 at the end of the sprint race, and that's not what we need. And we can't afford these mistakes. In the normal race, we can probably afford something like that, because it is not that you lose that much time in 36 laps. We overtake Esteban Ocon, almost losing the rear end there. And you can see Ocon is fighting back for P9 at the moment. Oh no, P8, I'm sorry, at the moment. But as you can see, we took that better line, and that meant that we are still up into P8. Can we overtake Liam Lawson here at the end of the straight? I hope so. Max Verstappen in P2 at the moment with his fastest lap. We put in a 108 flat, and we want to go down the inside, but I forgot that I had to brake later than my rival, but I didn't. So we are still behind him in P8, in lap 4, still 8 laps to go. So I can still try to overtake him. Can we do it right here? I don't think so. Still too far off. Maybe we can do the same to him as we did to his teammate here. Coming up, I think this is one of the best overtaking spots, even though in real life you don't see it that often. We go around the other side and we take that position from him. And that means that we are now up into P7. You can see still 4 guys quite close ahead of me. It's Alonso, Ricciardo, I think it's Russell, and my teammate Oscar Piastri in P3 doing a good job at keeping those guys behind, because that probably means that I can catch up to them if he is in the same car. We put in the fastest lap in lap 6. Unfortunately, it's no points for fastest lap in a sprint race, so we have to wait until the real deal tomorrow to find out if we can do the same thing. But as you can see, in lap 7 we are really close behind. Only 4 tenths separating me and Alonso, and oh boy, that's a yellow flag. And it looks like it's Max Verstappen. Is that Max Verstappen out of the sprint race? Oh my god, it is. His title hopes are over, because he starts in P22 and he can never get back up. Maybe P8 for him, but he loses so many points. Oh, this is good. This is something good, because we now are up into P6. We can even try to overtake Alonso, which we are going to do right now. Or at least try. I don't know if we can overtake him. once again the same spot as the 2 Alpines. And as you can see, we take the inside line and we take home P5. Can we even get up to the podium? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But this means that at the moment we get 4 points. We have a 10-point lead on Max Verstappen at the moment, so that's 14 points. We lose 4 points to Charles Leclerc, and as you can see in the final lap, nothing happened. Alexander Albon had a DNF as well, but yeah, it doesn't really add anything to the story that we are telling you today. And as you can see, Charles Leclerc wins the sprint race. He was in a league of his own, of course, with Max Verstappen, but he got a engine failure or something like that. So he gains 4 points on me. So it's 7 points in between me and Leclerc, which means that if we get P2 and he wins the race, he could well be world champion 3 times in a row. The difference is that we get a new winner for the championship, or we get the same one as the last 2 years. So let's try to win this, because Leclerc won it in Season 1 and Season 2. We have to win it in Season 3 and finish this off nicely. All we need to do, if Leclerc is winning this race, we need to take P2. I feel like that is possible from P5. And we need to take home a fastest lap. If we can do that, then we are world champion by 1 point. That would be amazing. That would be just amazing. But let's find out what is going to be in the race.
Formula One returns to Interlagos once again, with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his 3rd championship here in 2012, and just 4 years later, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. 2 very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the 2 DRS zones will be key to any overtaking prospects today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Ricciardo, the engineer, Fernando Alonso and Russell, Hamilton, Perez, Gasly and Lando Norris, Stroll, Liam Lawson, they've taken a grid penalty, Esteban Ocon and Schwartzman, Tsunoda, Latifi, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen, they've taken a grid penalty, Joe, Ticktum, Verstappen and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
One final time, we will start in this livery, in this car, with our teammate ahead of us. It's lights out and away we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And as you can see, we get a bad start. Oh my god, Nick. We get a bad start. We lose positions to everyone. Alonso, Russell, Perez and Hamilton. Can we take back that position of Hamilton? Yes, we can. Almost getting into the back of Russell. Luckily, we don't do that. Otherwise, it would be game over for us. And that is not something that we can afford today. You can see Leclerc leading the way with my teammate in P2. That's good to see. And as we take a look at Lewis Hamilton, he goes to the inside. What is he doing? We lose positions to the AlphaTauri and even to the Alpine. Let's at least try to fight back. As we are now down in P10, you can see Liam Lawson trying to go around the other side. Luckily, we can take the inside in the next corner. And that means that we are back up into P9. Or are we? No, we are not. Yes, we are. No, we are not. We are going around the other side. Still side by side with Liam Lawson. This is not something that we can do at this moment. We need to fight for the win. You can see at the minimap, Leclerc is already leading with a lead of 2 seconds maybe. What is happening here? starting lap 2. This time around, we do know how to go for that late break move into turn 1. And as you can see, somebody is in the pits. And I think that's Max Verstappen. Yes, it is. Oh, he is not having the weekend of his life. And that means that he is now into the pits because he had some damage in the first lap. So that's pretty much game over for him. You can see a new front wing, new tires, and it's even a 2-stop for him as he's going on to new softs. Now, lap 2 it still is, and we go down the inside of Lewis Hamilton. We show him what we are made of, and we are now ahead of him. Everybody from P2 to P6 is really close ahead of me, and we put in the fastest lap as well. That's something that we need, because Leclerc is already leading with a big gap. You could see him there in the far distance. But my teammate is trying to hold up everybody for his final race. I don't know in Formula 1, maybe in Formula 1, but at least for my team, he is in his last race for the team. So he can do everything he can to help me at least. And we are going down the inside of Fernando Alonso, and that is us up into P6 already. We still have 32 laps to go. That is a really, really long race. But still, anything can happen. We saw Max Verstappen having a DNF. Maybe we can have a DNF. I don't hope it. Maybe Leclerc has a DNF. It's something Ferrari can do. But at the moment, we are behind George Russell. Can we overtake him in the next lap or two? Maybe even this lap on straight with some DRS. That would be awesome. But as you can see, everybody's really close together because Oscar Piastri, he knows how to defend. And that's good, as we are now at the start-finish straight, 2 purple sectors, no fastest lap. We go around the other side, going all the way, going towards the inside for the next corner, and that's us, job done into the top 5. That's something that we need. As you can see, Daniel Ricciardo is on the soft, so he's going for soft medium, soft hard, soft medium. I don't know what his strategy is today, but he is going for a early stop. So let's hope that by the time I get past Perez, he goes into the pits, and then we are up into P3. I hope our teammate lets us through without any problems, and as you can see, towards lap 8 we go, and it looks like we are going for another dive into a turn 1. No, we are not actually, as we are trying it around the other side, the same as with Russell, but this time he has a good exit as well out of the center S's, and he's trying to fight back. We have DRS, he has DRS, and he is fighting back, still side by side. Onto the next corner we go. He tries to hold the inside. It actually helped him that we went wide. And we are still side by side, overtaking us once again. But we hold the inside line here, and this time we keep the position. So we are now up into P4. You can see the only guys ahead of me are Ricciardo and Piastri. Ahead of that, Nick, not those mistakes, not right now. And at the moment, Ricciardo is splitting in lap 11. He is going to the mediums, and he's finishing. I think he's finishing on that tire as well. But as you can see now into the podium positions, this is not even good enough for the win. If we want to win the title, we have to overtake our teammate with a faster lap. And as you can see, it's our teammate. So if he doesn't let us by, I will just crash him out. He doesn't matter anymore. Maybe I'm a bit hard on that, but if it is about a world championship, then you just need to accept the fact that you are not fighting for it and that you need to let me past. As there's a yellow flag behind us, this time around it's not our main rival, but it's actually George Russell. He is out of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Unfortunately, no safety car. That would have helped us. And as you can see, I'm trying to go by using a few different lines, but he just doesn't let us pass. So hopefully in the next DRS straight, we will overtake him, or maybe even earlier. Or maybe he just lets us by once he goes into the pits. It all depends on his strategy. But you can see down into turn 1 we go for lap 15, almost halfway done, and it looks like he is making a mistake. Yes, we forced him into an error, and without any damage we overtook him, and now it's up into P2. Perez still really close behind, and he is now fighting with my teammate. So as long as they keep fighting, I will be comfortable in P2. I am going for the undercut in lap 16. I felt like that would be the better thing to do. Perfect entrance, little bit of a drift, little bit of a lockup. But hey, don't worry about it. We got a good pit stop and we come out in P8. Maybe even a few positions behind that. As you can see, it looks like P11 at the moment. Gasly and Ricciardo fighting at the moment for P9. Ricciardo actually did a good undercut. And if he doesn't stop again, it looks like we need to overtake him. But they are fighting so much. So much. But we are luckily through into turn I don't know, turn 8, turn 9, I don't know what corner this is, but I want to say into P10. So we now need to overtake Daniel Ricciardo for that other position. But of course, he is on fresh medium, so we are actually going to use him in the next couple of laps. Once our tires are up to temperature, then we can overtake him, and then we can get back into P2, because that's something that we need. Leclerc is at the moment in the pits. My teammate is as well, but Leclerc is already coming out of the pit, so we are not overtaking him. I feel like the gap will be around 6 or 7 seconds. And you can see some other guys are in there as well. Are we going to come out ahead of our teammate? Let's find out. He is on our left hand side. Can we be faster than him? It looks like it. Yes, he is behind us. So we only need to overtake Daniel Ricciardo, and we need to take the fastest lap, and then we will become world champions. So now lap 20. It took us a few laps, but as you can see, it's a purple first sector, and we overtake Daniel Ricciardo. We are going to push this lap to make sure that we can get that fastest lap as well, because later on in the race our tires will be as dead as possibly can, so then we can push anymore for a fastest lap. And as you can see, crossing the line, it's a 108 flat, and that means that we have the fastest lap of the race. I don't think anybody will go into the 107s, but we'll find out just a bit later into the race. As you can see, the gap ahead is 7.6 seconds, the gap behind is 2.5 seconds. And at this point, I just thought, keep the position. Everything you need to do is keep the position. Of course, I want to win this race, but if I can keep this position, no problems anywhere, we will become world champion. And that's what we need to do. That's our main goal in this series. You can see we are lapping Latifi, as he is the slowest on track today. Not only today, it's actually almost every race. But he's no longer in Formula 1 in real life. He is still in this game. So I'll let him enjoy the final races of his career. And you can see now lap 31, we skipped a few laps and the gap has come down to 5 seconds. At this point I thought, let's push. Let's find out what it will be at the end of the Grand Prix if we push until our tires are gone, until our engine maybe has blown up. Oh no, that's not a good idea. Well, it's too late for that. We are already pushing. Gap is 4 seconds because of some back markers. And they are actually helping us because the gap has gone down to 3 seconds. 3 laps to go. It's all coming down to this. 3 final laps in this Grand Prix. Albon lets us by without a problem. And that's something that we definitely need. If we did get a bad back marker, then it could be all job done. Leclerc could have won the race. But as you can see, 2 seconds is the gap, 2 laps to go, and it looks like at the moment Leclerc is winning, but we are I think around a second per lap faster, and that's quite a lot. But as you can see, still 1 back marker to go, and I think that's Lance Stroll in his Aston Martin. Yes, it actually is, and this has really lost us the race, I feel like, because he was ahead of us for 2 or 3 corners, and I lost around half a second to that. You might think that they are quite fast, even though they are in a worse team, but they are so slow compared to you. It's absolutely the worst. And now we are in the final lap. The gap is 2 seconds. I think that's it. I think we can't do anything more. And as you can see, Leclerc is coming to cross the line, and he is winning this battle. But we are coming to cross this line, the finish line, to take home the championship and become world champions for the first time ever.
Oh, you are my hero! You're my hero! You've done it! All of that work has come down to this, and you are the world champion. Great stuff! And so the celebrations begin, and well-earned they are indeed. It might have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level at the very top is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. Victory today then, but bittersweet emotions, I'm sure, as the championship slips through their fingers. Even so, what a fantastic final race of the season this was. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
We actually did it. As you can see, they don't even show the podium. They just show me celebrating that I've won this championship. to be honest, without the support of all of you, I couldn't have done it. If I didn't get... Why is there a camera flying? Don't worry about it.
Handy skill to have in
As you can
modern-day
see,
Formula One.
So then, Ferrari have now
Leclerc
got
winning the
some
race,
sights
myself
out
in
of reach.
P2, Max
It's
Verstappen
another
only going up
triumph
to
for the
P11,
Italian
so he
team.
was nowhere
They claim
near
the World
the place that he
Constructors'
could
Championship.
be without
Well,
that
what an end to another
engine issue in the
fantastic
sprint
weekend
race.
of racing. Thanks
And
to
let's take a look
everyone
at the
who joined
standings.
us, and we'll see
We
you for the
win
next
the
one.
championship by 1 point. 1 point in between me and Leclerc. If he got a better race somewhere in this calendar, then he would have become world champion. But we are world champion of MyTeam Season 3. Of course, this means that we can drive with number 1 in the next season. And I can tell you something, a little sneak peek into the preseason of MyTeam Season 4. I'm going to take that number 1. I want to be the one and only guy who can do that next season. But that is it for today's episode. If you want to see the preseason of MyTeam Season 4, then subscribe. Subscribe right now, because you don't want to miss it. Something crazy is going to happen in that video, so don't miss it. And we'll go for a full calendar next season to top this off. Let's go to Season 4. Goodbye.